So Elder Heru, this is our first recording, and what we're going to be doing is discussing the topics that we talked about earlier. One is around collaborating with other organizations. Two is around nation building and what that means in this period in history. And number three is around the whole business of being able to maneuver and operate in this period in history. How do we go about making contributions in this period toward our goals? So those are the three things we're going to start off with. And the first question I want to ask you is, how should we participate with other Africanist organizations? How should we collaborate with them? What types of relationships should we have?
Well, based on my experience, those organizations that we have collaborated with, going back some 30-odd years or so, 35 years. Well, to be honest, it hasn't worked. Let me explain why. There was a martial arts organization that I've been participating with over the last 35 years. They came together as a group of black belts to form a federation or collaboration because they were not getting justice from the people that they were working with, the Koreans, the Japanese, and the Chinese masters that they worked with. They weren't getting any justice from them. They would train the students, bring the students to a testing. The masters would come in, see the testing, agree that the two students had tested and they should move to the next level. They would take all the resources and then they would leave. Not even sharing the resources with the masters or the instructors that had brought them, the students to a point where they could train and pass from one level to the next. So, to me, that didn't work. So they started their own collaboration as a group of black organizations. That didn't work out too well either, in the sense that, for whatever reason, jealousy or not being industrious enough, not being having the proprietorship that one group needed or another. I say, like, we have had instances where we would say that we was going, each year different organizations or groups would have tournaments and everybody would have to bring certain X amount of students to the tournament, say let's 20. I bring 20 to your tournament, you bring 20 to mine. And it didn't work. I would bring 20 to yours, and for whatever reason you couldn't bring 20 to mine, but it was agreed that if you didn't bring your 20 students, you would pay the difference. You brought 10, you pay for 10, so that we can keep everything going, this collaboration going, which didn't work.
Okay.
It didn't work. And then we'd say, okay, we would collaborate on training styles, different styles. I bring a master over to your training school or school, and we teach our style to your students. You bring a master or send a master over to our school, and our students would learn your training styles. That didn't work because under certain circumstances, students saw one person or the other more organized, they would switch, and they wanted to switch schools. So
yes,
under those collaborations, it didn't work.
Okay.
Then other black African-centered organizations receiving funding from different sources, collaborating on them. I've been around involved when we received millions of dollars, up to $1 million on collaborative efforts.
Yes.
From organizations, 3 or 4 different community organizations get together. They get money from a funding source to do a project. And invariably, one person or two didn't follow through on paperwork or responsibility, daily responsibility. So then that collaboration fell apart to such an extent that people had to get money back. And it's always bad when you had to get money back.
Yeah.
To people that you get funding from.
Yes.
So those are various instances where collaborating has not worked.
Yes.
And also national organizations that we participate in, that we collaborate with. Understand that in the 60s, 70s, there was a breakup, a fall of different nationalist, pan-Africanist groups because of the whole COINTELPRO situation that was ran by the United States government. And so after that, a group of people wanted to get together, collaborate from around the country. And they collaborated on different issues of politics, you know, to deal with apartheid, deal with Zionism, dealing with sexism, dealing with racism.
Protesting.
Just protesting, doing rallies and drives. They did voters registration drives.
Yeah.
Petition drives. All these kind of things. Million Man March drive. Participate in all these different drives that end up to what we have today. That, you know, people are asking the question, where we at? What happened? And where's the movement at? So actually, in essence, those things didn't work out.
So we had the petition drives, the marches, the rallies, the protests, and you're saying what came out of it was what?
Virtually nothing.
Yeah.
Now, some of the things that were said that we should come out of it, we should just come out with a database of people that supported what you were doing, whatever drive you were participating in. We should have came out with a database of people who supported that. We didn't even come out with that.
Yes.
Because if we had came out with a database, like other people do, they come out with a database of people who support them, then maybe we could have got some continued support from people, but that didn't happen.
So why do you think that didn't happen?
It didn't happen because the lack of proprietorship. People didn't understand the necessity of work, or people don't understand the necessity of work. Most, in my opinion, most revolutionaries are theoreticians. They're good at talking about what should be done. But when it actually comes to doing work, that's where the ball that falls apart. I give you a case in point. We were at a forum and we were setting up or cleaning up. I don't remember which of this forum. And we expected to have 300-400 people come to the forum.
Yes.
So that means we had to put out tables and chairs, get the building ready for our expected guests to come in to this forum.
Yes.
And person or people wanted to stand around and theorize about what was going on instead of getting the tables and chairs ready. So one of the questions they was asking, what is a revolutionary? What should we be doing as a revolutionary? And I know my wife commented, and I share her sentiment. At that time, a revolutionary thing to be done or doing was to be putting up them chairs, cleaning up that room, or taking down them chairs and cleaning up that room.
Yes.
That was the revolutionary thing to be done. Not talking, but working.
Yes.
And so we have lacked that consistency in work.
Okay. That's what you say central to that.
Yeah, central to that.
So what do you tell us to do then when we, based on what you just said there, what do you think that we should be doing when we make a decision to form some relationships with other organizations? How should we go about it?
I think that we should form relationship based on work. And the work should be based on apprenticeship kind of relationship.
Okay, explain that.
I'm saying that based on the information that we have in African International, we've put forth a plan, a blueprint to the future. Now, at this point, there's few of us that understand what that plan is, even though we've shared the plan on the internet with millions, whoever wanted to see it.
2 million at this point, yeah.
2 million people have viewed the plan. But it's one thing to see the plan, it's another thing to be able to bring the plan into fruition.
Yes.
So we should collaborate by teacher-student relationship to bring people to understanding of how to participate in African International. So that means that we have to, you know, treat people like they're apprentices until they get to be journeymen. Then as time goes on, they get to be masters. Because we have to liken everything to building a house.
Okay.
One brick, one block, one building at a time. So if we teach people how to build the bricks, then they can build a house, then we can build a block, then we can build a community. Then from a community we can build a neighborhood, from a neighborhood we can build a nation.
Got it.
But we first have to do it based on a mental, moral, and martial understanding. And even though people, this information is out here, it was here or garnered from our ancestors from Kemet, we need to explain to people what that is, and we need to get understanding from people, and we need to work the differences out, because there are differences.
Okay.
Because we know we come from the hodgepodge of philosophy.
Okay. Well, we'll cut this one off, and